Yeah, with the delay, there's a delay. Okay, I think we're live. Can you hear me? Can someone please write in the chat and let me know that you can hear me with this crazy delay that's happening? This is the first time that I am experimenting with. Hi, Jack. Can you hear me? I'm experimenting with my laptop instead of my phone, which is what I typically do the live streams on. And it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. Hi, Goku, DBZ, Dragon Ball Z. Hey, Paul. Hey, Jack. You're good. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, everybody. Okay. So first of all, thank you for those of you who signed on. I was experimenting with the live stream and I called it um, Watch Me Make Dinner, and three people came on and they were waiting and they were typing in the comments like, hey, what's for dinner? And I really appreciated that. And then it took me until after I made dinner to even get on the live stream. And dinner was burgers, pre-made patties. They were delicious. Hi, Eugene. Hi, Joe. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Michael. Hi, Cassidy. Hi, Jay Fixon. Isn't this awesome? Okay. Hi, DeLeon. If you've ever been to one of my live streams before, you know that when I was doing it on my computer, my phone, that the things would change really, really quickly. And I know I was making dinner, but I finished it already in the time that it took me to figure out the live stream. What you gonna do? I will. If you guys like, if you like that, you can totally watch me make dinner sometime. It's probably not as exciting as it sounds. In fact, that could be fun. Maybe we'll do a live show where you make a dinner request, and then I actually make that dinner and answer your sex questions at the same time. I have a very wide attention span, and I can do both. Thomas Natan, Paul Stormer 454. Heyo. Oh, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Smothered chicken with rice. Dillian, what is the chicken smothered in? This is an important question. Thank you. So, anyways, before your comments would happen really quickly on the phone, and I was trying to like watch the camera and look at the phone, and they would come up and they would disappear. And so I am here. Hey, Sean. Hey, Sean. My friend Sean. Sean and I are actually going to be making a video together here soon. Basically, as soon as I can get my butt together and be in Chicago for more than 1 week at a time, um, because this is my life. Hey girl, hey, says Chad. Delight gravy. Okay, it's got to be a gluten-free meal. Hello, Perth. Hello, Paul from Perth. Um, so as long as we can do a gluten-free gravy, what is my favorite one? My favorite dinner? So my favorite dinner that I make is definitely candied Brussels sprouts with sriracha mayo that are tossed in sriracha mayo. I think it is delicious. I'm a huge fan of Brussels sprouts. I can make Brussels sprouts like 16 different ways. Hiding them. Um, I love Brussels sprouts. That's my favorite way to make them. And then sometimes I'll get like corn tortilla shells, and I will layer those Brussels sprouts in with like other funky ingredients like pickled beets or something like that, like whatever I've got around in tacos, and it's always delicious. It's like never not good. Um, we should totally do Caitlin's recipes one day. I think that'd be really fun, and watch me make a gluten-free dinner. Because I am gluten-free. Okay, let's take some questions. Sex coach office hours. You have to forgive me. I'm tired. It was 96 degrees in Chicago today for y'all in Celsius countries. I think that's like 40 degrees Celsius. It was hot. This office does not have air conditioning. So your girl has been sweating and I like wore as little amount of clothing as possible, but it's still hot in here. Okay, we got questions. One person asked, did I ever try Caribbean food? Hell yeah, I love Caribbean food. Okay, Paul asks, what is my opinion of a 46-year-old guy dating a 19-year-old girl? That's a great question. So the problem with this is that anyone at the age of 46 is going to have life experience that anyone at the age of 19 has not had. It goes without saying, right? I have more experience right now at this age than I did last year on July 10th when I was 1 year younger. Like the older that we are, the more life experience that we have. And with life experience often becomes power. Life experience leads to an understanding of the way the world works. It often leads to having more income, not always, but it usually leads to having more power. And so a 19-year-old doesn't have a ton of power because they haven't had a lot of life experience. Women in particular, 19-year-old women probably doesn't make that much money compared to a 46-year-old guy. And she doesn't know as much about the way that the world works. So it's easier to take advantage of her. So on paper, there's nothing wrong with anyone dating anyone of any age. But in this situation, there's going to be a power imbalance. 46-year-old man with a 19-year-old girl, they're not coming into the relationship with the same amount of relative power. Therefore, there's going to be a power imbalance that it's very, very hard to correct for. Um, and so I would recommend against it. I also would ask, why is either one of them interested in having a partner that is so different in age? Um, 46 is more than old enough to be a father to a 19-year-old girl. Why are you interested in dating somebody who is in your potential child's generation or in a parent's generation? Like, what do they provide? So it's hard to give a blanket answer to this because not all 46-year-olds and not all 19-year-olds are the same. But those are some of the questions that I would ask if someone asked me that question, which you did, and I hope that I did a decent job of answering it. Um, have you considered doing a sex coach reacts to videos? Yes, I would love to do S Stormer asked that. I would 100% do a sex coach reacts to videos because there's a lot of really crappy sex advice out there, and I would love to watch it and then make fun of it. You guys don't know this about me because I come off like I think I come off as like pretty nice on YouTube. But one of my favorite things to be is sassy. I love being sassy and I would love to make fun of. There's some awful sex advice out there. Like if you just spend like any time at all on the internet, you can find 100 things that are like make your penis bigger by taking yohimbe powder and it's just like that shit will make you sick and it's not gonna make your penis any bigger and it's just like there's a lot of bad advice out there because everybody's trying to make a book. Candied Brussels sprouts sound weird. I know they do sound weird, but they're delicious. You just cut them in half, boil them until they start sort of floating up to the surface. They get like a nice sort of light green color. And then you throw them in a cast iron skillet that's already been oiled until they get to be like darkened, a little bit crunchy on the outside, and then you toss them in chipotle or sriracha mayo. It's so simple. The trick is that you have to dry them between boiling them and cast ironing them. That's where the real crunchiness comes from. Hi, Caitlin. Skin glowing though. No bra. Nice. Never. I hate wearing a bra. Can you? Anyone on here ever worn a bra? Do you know what it feels like to wear a bra? They're made out of metal. This thing presses against your skin all day, putting your friggin' ribs inside of a cage. It's awful. I hate them. I oh, like I just imagine like two little pieces of skin just pressing on you. Anyway, that's my thought on that. Sean, that's the best explanation I've ever heard about why age difference could potentially be problematic. Thank you. Okay. Daddy issues. Yeah, well, that's a big statement right there, says Joseph. Looking gorgeous. Thank you, RC Green. Security. Joseph Hart. I don't know what for security. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But I think everyone's dating anyone for security, so it's not unique to that. And daddy issues can be at any age too. But I don't know how we'd even define daddy issues. It's a big, 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 big topic. Okay. Oh my God, I'm looking at myself 2 minutes later. I look silly reading these questions, licking my lips. Do you think that during sex, is there anything that we can think about that do good for keeping men more powerful? What I think you're asking is, what can I think about during sex to be a more powerful lover? I'm so glad that you asked this. This is a favorite question of mine. Um, a lot of the time, men think about two different things during sex. Often, they think about not finishing. They're just like, I can't finish it. Oh my God, it feels really good. I don't want to finish it. I don't want to finish it. I don't want to come. I don't want to come. And then they do come because inevitably you're thinking about it. So you make it happen. Or number two, they think, wow, this is so hot. Wow, this other time something also really hot happened. Oh my God, this reminds me of that time that I watched the porn. It's almost like you're trying to race towards the finish line. You're trying to get yourself to ejaculate as quickly as possible. Or you're thinking about not ejaculating as quickly as possible. Either way, at no point are you actually thinking about what the sex feels like in that moment. And don't get me wrong, some of you are just like really focused on her. Did she come? Is she having a good time? Is she enjoying herself? Did I make her come? Did she actually come? Was she lying when she said that she came? You want to know what to think about when you're thinking about sex and you're having sex? Think about how good it feels and relax. That is the best advice that I could give you. Think about that it feels good. Focus on the things that feel good without trying to make them feel even better, thus pushing yourself into ejaculation territory. And in the meantime, enjoy, focus on your breath, focus on syncing your breathing together with your partner. But most of all, focus on relaxing. Tell me what you think about that. Can't find anyone my own age. That is not true. There's plenty of 46-year-old women that are single. Send me more messages, Paul, because I am happy to help you to find a woman who is in your own age or even in your age range, like 30 and up. Or 30 to 50 is a great age range for you. But you don't need to date someone who has less power than you. You don't need to date someone who is not capable of meeting you intellectually, professionally, socially. I absolutely believe that you can find someone your own age to date if you want to. Your advice is great. Thanks, David. Isn't this system just so much better? I don't have to look at the phone. I can answer questions. Link to the comedy vid. Can't change it. Oh, S Stormer. Go to my website and fill out my contact form. You can go to bettersexcoach.com, click contact in the upper right hand corner, and then say put in the video. Sorry, I know that's inconvenient, but I'd appreciate it. Also, I put the application to go and work with me in this chat. CaitlinVneal.com/apply. Because people often ask me, how can I come work with you one-on-one? And I'd love to see if I can help you. Anyone in here, if this advice resonates with you at all, please apply to work with me and I will let you know as quickly as possible if I think that we're a good fit and if I can help you. I have space for a new person right now. So I'm looking, that could be you. Who's going to be my 12th person? Okay. Back to the questions. Franklin says, and Soto says, hi from South Texas. I used to live in South Texas. Hey. Or Houston. I don't know. Does that count? Anyways. I am really buffed getting my MBA. I'm dating a pretty girl who has tattoos and has yet to finish junior college. My trust puts me with a net worth of 7 figures. What do I think? Congratulations. I think you should stop judging the girl you're dating for having tattoos and not finishing junior college. Obviously, that's what I'm reading into your question here. By the fact that you went out of your way to say that she's pretty, tattooed, and hasn't finished junior college. You're buff, you're getting your MBA, you got 7 figures. If you think that you should be dating someone who is also buff, also getting their MBA, and also worth 7 figures, then you owe it to break up with this girl. Or just accept her for who she is. Maybe she's never going to finish junior college. Maybe she's going to get even more tattoos. And obviously, she's not going to be pretty forever. That's not how it works. Money, beauty, everything can fade. Okay? A sense of humor is really something that I like to base decisions based off of. I wore a bra and I'm a dude, not comfy. Yes, not comfy. Thank you for everyone for humoring me on that. Okay, what else do we got here? These are great questions, y'all. Keep them coming. This is awesome. Hi, Keelan. Love your videos. Still a long ways to go. That's okay. This is a process, man. And I don't know how old you are, but for most of us, we've been doing it one way for a decade or more, and then we learn that there's another way to do it, and we do that for 3 weeks, and we're like, why am I not finished yet? It's a process. I'm a dude, so no. It was a corset. Corset is a literal cage. I also wore a thong before my balls fell. They make thongs for men. What is the best sex toy you have in the last 6 months? Okay, they're gonna love They're gonna love that I'm doing a little product placement for them. So this company, Svacom, 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 sent me this toy, Ella. And at first I was like, oh, it's just a vibrating bullet. That feels cool, but also like there's plenty of these out there. I don't know. Anyway, they have an app and you can control it with your phone. You can control the depth of the vibration, the rhythm of the vibration. And I actually really love it. One of my problems with vibrating bullets is that I have one by Fun Factory, which is a great German toy manufacturer, and it's really strong. It was part of another toy, but it was the only bullet that I had for a while. My other one broke. So I was using that one, but it was like really strong. It was like a power tool. And actually what I really like about this one is that it is a little gentler, and I'm all about a slightly gentler bullet because I find that the really strong ones sort of desensitize my clit. And I don't mean like vibrators over time desensitize your clit. I just mean like immediately. Like it would be so much sensation that for the next 10 or 15 minutes, I felt like I was experiencing less sensation and not more. So this one I really like. But to be honest, I'm not like a huge sex toy person myself. I think they're fun, but like I don't probably use one. I definitely don't use one every time I have sex. I probably only use one or two sex toys every month in total. But I have a lot of sex toys here that I need to review, so there's going to be a lot more sex toy usage around here. Neutral 69 says, "Are you a sex surrogate, Caitlin?" I'm so glad that you asked. No, I am not a sex surrogate. Sex surrogates have physical contact with their clients under the supervision slash with the help and guidance of a sex therapist. They're only licensed in certain states, and they do really cool work. If you're interested in learning more about sex surrogacy, I highly, highly recommend this book, An Intimate Life by Cheryl Cohen Green. They made a book, a movie about it. I'm sure it says there. The Sessions with Helen Hunt. It was a good movie. Cheryl's a cool lady, and her experience of really pioneering um, the world of surrogacy. And but that's not what I do. But I'm glad that you asked. What I do is I coach people over the phone. We um, sometimes video, but it's not, there's no nudity, there's no genitals. I do hour-long talk sessions. I give tons of homework, I give tons of information, advice, feedback, I educate, and I help people to transform their own lives. I also don't work with people that sex surrogates would typically work with. Sex surrogates are going to work with someone who's like a 30 or 40-year-old virgin. They often are working with someone who's just had like really debilitating sexual trauma. Um, or maybe somebody who has like never really physically had any contact with someone of the opposite sex. And there are male and female surrogates, and it doesn't have to be the opposite sex. You could be a woman working with a sex surrogate. But either way, I work with people who are already who don't need a therapist. So, like in other words, sex therapists help people who are not well to get well. And as a coach, I work with people who are already well to get even better. And that's what's really cool about my job is that I work with people who are like, they're for the most part, they're fine. They're usually very successful men who have performance anxiety and can't perform the way that they want to in the bedroom, and that causes them to ejaculate prematurely. And if it weren't for premature ejaculation, their lives would be great, their romance would be fine, they would be not at any risk of losing their partnership or their relationship. And so the people that I work with are like, they're already really amazing, and this is the one area in their life where they're really, really held back, and it's getting in the way of their relationship usually, or it's preventing them from dating, and they're staying single because they're so afraid of disappointing women. Robert Jackson, I see you messaging in the chat, and I'm not going to share those with everybody because that's unacceptable language for me. It's just not appropriate for here. I have a question. How can I say it? Just say it, man. Problem. I last longer, but I can't finish. Okay, I did a video on delayed ejaculation. Go watch that. And then apply to work with me. Is there a platform we can send you links? Just fill out my contact form. Love your channel, but something different. Did you see the Netflix Sex Education? I do have a real question, but I'm too shy to talk about my problems on the chat. Fill out my application form. It's over here. Or fill out my contact form and I'll send you a response. Gothic girl or I love your eyes. Thank you, Harish. Okay, hang on. Oh, there's been a lot of chatting. I have to catch up. Boy, 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 boy. I've tried to kiss a divorced guy with a 20-year-old. So, Paul, you are considering dating someone who's younger than your 20-year-old son? I think that you should go and seek counseling to help you to recover from your divorce. That sounds really hard. And the answer is definitely not dating someone who's less than half of your age. If you go and you heal and you go through counseling and then you want to date younger people, highly recommend that you do so, but only after you've done your own healing work around whatever caused the divorce. Because you just don't want to have that same relationship repeat itself over and over again. If I spend more time on foreplay, kissing soft spots, or what part is more sensitive that I can spend more time on? The whole body. Spend less time on the spots that you think you need to be spending time on, and more time on spots like the ins. Oh, you can see I burned myself. You can see like the inside of the wrists. Here feels good. Like spend more time on foreplay. Spend more time learning how to massage. I realize if I could teach everybody anything right now, I would teach you how to give a great massage. Nothing is better foreplay, in my personal opinion, than a great massage. Last longer in bed, but can't seem to finish coming. Yes, delayed ejaculation. Like I said, watch the video, send me a message. I actually don't talk about this so much on YouTube, but I do delayed ejaculation. I work with delayed ejaculation. It's late and it's really hot. I work with delayed ejaculation all the time. I really love it. I actually just had this one client um, who had delayed, actually, I have two clients right now who have delayed ejaculation. And he wants to have kids. He's trying to have a baby with his girlfriend. And we needed to work on getting him to the point where he could ejaculate inside of her because they want to be able to conceive. And yeah, it's really cool to get to work on that. Okay, keep working. Successful person, but are you kind to the people around you? I like to think so. I do like to be sassy. Um, but I'm nice too. What are your thoughts on uncircumcised and circumcised? Neither is better. It's just a preference. Growing up in America, didn't see a whole lot of uncircumcised penises until I dated a Japanese exchange student once, and then I went and lived abroad before when I was in college, and that was when I saw really uncircumcised penises for the first time. It was very surprising. I will say I was sort of like, "What is happening?" There seems to be a raincoat on this penis. Um, but other than that, it wasn't a big deal. I just had to like learn how to work with it, teach the woman how to work with it. I think from a personal perspective, like if I was to have a son, I probably wouldn't circumcise him. The reason for that is that I just don't see any need to add any scar tissue. I really believe that we have the sanitation standards today. We can wash easily inside of foreskin. Um, Soap is widely available. Running water is pretty widely available. So as long as you have the sanitary conditions and you know how to clean, I think there's no need to circumcise, but that's just me. It's a very hot topic here in America. I don't know where you're from, but woo, people love to talk about that. Hi from Salisbury. Hi from Arizona. Yo. My cousin had a bet. Definitely like to take you out on a date. Honey, I appreciate that. I'm married to a man that I love very much, and I am not currently dating, but thank you for the offer. Bedtime on the East Coast. Bye bye. Keep doing videos about pleasuring the female. Thank you. That's a great question, actually. So I'm finishing this product, Come When You Want. It's a video course on controlling ejaculation and really being able to master confidence in the bedroom. And right now I'm working on the bonuses for it. So I want to put together some just really epic bonuses that makes it amazing for you all, so that when you get this product, when you get it and you watch the 3 hours and you get the transcripts, you get all the other bonuses that exist. Like I want this video course that I made to blow you away. I want you to walk away from this video course going, oh my God, I can't believe that she just gave me all of that content. That was amazing. So if you have any thoughts on what the bonuses should be, holler in the chat. There's RGB toys. I don't know what that red, green, blue? Rocket, garbage, Batman. Controlling the depth. Sounds incredible. Yeah. Hi, Miss Caitlin. Hi, Frank. When females find out they got a kid, they run away. Paul, that's still an excuse. You are lovable regardless, kid or otherwise. And it's a 19-year-old doesn't want to be the stepmom to a 20-year-old either. I love wearing G-strings and thongs. I'm a man who loves to cross-dress. There we go, Robert. The language was perfect. That's awesome. I think cross-dressing is cool. I love that you are giving yourself permission and freedom to do what you love to do. Love your channel. Suggestions discussing her sex wants and boundaries before or after foreplay, which is more romantic. You have to discuss it first. Okay, racing through these. I have a toy to stimulate my prostate, but I don't have an orgasm from it. What am I doing wrong? You're probably not doing anything wrong. It's probably just that you're perhaps it's uncomfortable, you're not sort of used to it. Perhaps you're not stimulating yourself enough. The prostate orgasm is not going to come strictly from the prostate. It's usually going to come from a combination of stimulating your erection or your penis and stimulating the prostate at the same time. Discussing her sex wants and boundaries. I said before, my wife and I are swingers. We recommend a lot of our friends to your channel. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that so much. Swingers, you are my people. I love you guys. Because you love sex and I love sex and I appreciate that so much. We are kindred spirits. We just do it right. Can I wear a butt plug all day no matter what I do during the day? Oh, that's a great question. That's really a personal opinion question. So, for me, I think that you should definitely give your butt a break. I wouldn't say butt plug all day, every day, probably not when you're sleeping. You really want to give those muscles a chance to relax and kind of return to their natural state. But if you're comfortable and you're capable wearing a butt plug all day and it's not causing you any risk, it's not going to fall out or hurt or whatever, I think for the most part you're fine. I'd have to do a little bit more research. So that's a good question that you asked. Okay, I'm going to wrap up here soon because I have to get out of this. Some sexual activities you would recommend to someone in a poly relationship. Okay, poly relationship with your primary or poly relationship with other people? And are there other restrictions, like you're trying not to be fluid bonded with those other people, or you are, yeah, what are the restrictions there for poly? Because really, the only restriction that I would say or recommend to someone in a poly relationship is have a really detailed conversation about what's okay. Oral sex with a condom or dental dam, vaginal sex without a condom or a dental dam. Like, you gotta get into the weeds and have a very, very detailed conversation about that stuff. What am I using as a fan? Oh, we're good. Okay. Short guy. Oh, wait, hang on, I missed one. Drugs for depression can make you last longer in bed. Any thoughts on this? Yeah, I like to, antidepressants is the last possible resort. It is true that for some men, that is going to be the best option, but that is a small percentage of men. And I really think for most men, it's actually very possible to avoid them. Those drugs also have a tendency to decrease your libido and your desire for sex, which I think makes them not a best bet. Okay. Sometimes I shiver like I'm freezing, but I'm not. It stops when I'm focused on my wife. What the heck is going on with that? I don't know. I'm very like ongoing shiver or like a jolt. When is it happening? You're always with your wife, you're aroused. Is it when you're having penetrative sex? Are you very stressed out or anxious when you're having sex? I have a lot more questions. ZX10 writer. I'm a short guy. I'm about to turn 46, and here comes the 20 something who seem to get their feelings hurt when I ignore them. Yet rejection after rejection has me distrustful of females. Well, it's not your responsibility to not hurt people's feelings. That's all I have to say. Like, you have to take care of yourself, you have to look good, you have to look after yourself. And if the 20 somethings are not a good fit for you and you don't want to be starting a relationship with them, then rejection is the only way. And like, okay, so they get their feelings hurt when they get rejected by you. So what? So you don't take money for sex. I do not take money for sex. I take money for conversations. You guys are all getting that for free right now. but you're not getting the kind of attention that I give to my one-on-one clients who work with me for 12 weeks, and we do, like, a really, really deep dive. I feel like a woman trapped in a man's body. Robert, based on your previous, um, comments, you said that you were a cross-dresser, that you enjoyed being called a sissy. Usually, the criteria for someone being diagnosed, or I guess it's the old language, so we don't really do diagnosis as gender dysphoria, or maybe they do now. I don't know. It's been a while since I worked at a trans clinic. Um, Cross-dressers, like in general, cross-dressing for sexual gratification, like it's sexually exciting to dress as a woman. A woman who's really transgender, it's not sexually exciting to be transgender. You just are transgender and you have a sexuality, but it's separate. Maybe just have a better connection with your woman's body. Don't focus on one spot. A person is not a fleshlight. Very well said. A raincoat. LOL. You're not wrong. I know. I love you, big fan. Thank you. I love you too. My thoughts on NoFap and porn abuse. I'm not against NoFap. I think that it can be a useful system for the people who use it. I think that NoFap is similar to, say, paleo. It works really well for people who need a strict sort of diet with rules to follow. Um, and for those people, that's great. Like amazing that that exists. I'm glad that paleo exists. I'm glad that NoFap exists. These are good things. I'm glad that people have access to them. And if you are the kind of person who sort of needs like all or nothing, like for me, for example, when I decided to go sober, I had to not drink at all. Like I couldn't have like a drink on Thursday because then I go, oh, I think I have a drink on Friday, and then it's the weekend, and then I'm gonna have two drinks on Saturday. Like I didn't have a drinking problem, but I knew that I didn't want to drink anymore, and I couldn't just kind of casually not drink. I had to go all the way sober, sober. Like drinking, not at all, not even one night a week, not even nothing. And NoFap is sort of like that, right? So if you know that you need something that's sort of fundamental in that way, that you need something that's just a prohibition, like you don't do it at all, then NoFap is great. Seems like a lot of women don't respect the metrosexual. Yeah, I think we want men to still have an air of masculinity, um, even if you're metrosexual. And that's for me, but I grew up in a city. I love the metrosexual. Why do most females run away when they find out that I have a kid, no matter what age they are? I would ask, how are you presenting that question? How are you presenting that information to them? For a lot of women, finding out that you have a kid is awesome because it means that you don't want them to have a kid. For a lot of women, finding out that you have a kid is cool because it probably means that you're a little bit more responsible and you're not going to be out all night partying or whatever. But if you present that information from them in a shy, meek, afraid way, and you go, okay, like, I don't want to tell you this, but I have a kid. Or if you suggest to them that they're somehow going to be responsible for that kid, then yeah, they're probably going to go and running in the other direction. It's really just how do you present it? Do you lead with that? Or do you have a date and then say, I just want you to know I have a kid. Your kid is 20 years old. Like, they're not a kid anymore. They're not a 5-year-old that she's gonna have to raise. They're an adult. Now, if there are other circumstances, they live at home with you, they have special needs, like, I can understand why, those other circumstances she might wanna take into consideration before she decides to form a long-term relationship with you, but you don't have a kid. You have an adult child. You're the adult parent of an adult child. RGB is RGB lighting, it's colors. Do you say there's gonna be RGB sex toys? I look forward to that day. Something about non-responsive nipples. When did I lose my virginity? That's a fun question. I could do a whole video about that. It's a good idea. Drinking coffee turns me on. Is this typical? No, I've never heard of that before. I drink so much coffee and it does nothing for me, and I am now feeling very disappointed. Like coffee has definitely been letting me down. Started my dating my girlfriend. Don't masturbate as much as I used to. Sex drive decreases a bit. Sex with my girlfriend is good. What happened to me? It sounds like you're comfortable. Person whose name is in Korean. Um, yeah, it doesn't. There's nothing wrong. with decreased sex drive and not masturbating as much. It might just be quality over quantity. Maybe the sex you're having with your girlfriend is very fulfilling and you no longer need to masturbate. How long have you been on? 35 minutes. You guys get these questions going. Couple toys for a hetero couple, um, butt plugs, dildos, vibrators, the standard. They're all good couple toys. Those are all couple toys. All the solo toys are also couple toys for the most part. Good night, Paul. Good night, DeLeon. Oh, thank you, Juan. I'm so glad that you're getting more out of your masturbation. Gender dysphoria is still a medical term. Whether or not it's triggering is up to a person's opinion. I don't think gender dysphoria itself is triggering. I think that it's a question of whether or not you meet the diagnostic criteria for gender dysphoria, and most cross-dressers do not meet that diagnostic criteria. I'm not saying that you do or do not. I'd have to have a conversation with you and refer you to a specialist. Actually, I couldn't do that diagnosis myself. But I will say that if you get off on dressing in women's clothing, chances are good that you are a cross-dresser and not transgender. Nick Zach asked for people with delayed ejaculation, they want to continue to masturbate how many times a week? I think 2 to 4 is ideal, but it's not for everybody. That's a number that works for me. Okay, last. I don't know what blue chew is. Okay, what do you do when you lay in bed and your girl don't want you no more? You don't have nothing on. I don't know. She doesn't want you anymore. Break up with her. Unpopular opinion for sure. And I don't know either. Okay. All right. Woo! We made it. You guys asked amazing questions. Thank you so much for attending the live stream. I love office hours. I love the idea of making dinner during the office hours. Two birds, one stone. And I love the idea of getting out of this steamy hot office. Thank you so much. I friggin' love you. New video comes out tomorrow morning on sexual well, hang on. How do I say this? New video that comes out tomorrow is actually the simplest, most life-changing video I've ever posted. Every time I teach a new client about this, they're like, mind blown. It instantly makes a difference. They're instantly able to either last longer or overcome delayed ejaculation. It works for all people. It even works for women. 9 a.m. Central, that is 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. YouTube.com/CaitlinV. I'll see you there. I love you so much. Good night.